is on there, and I like this better because
Now you run it through the OBS and record and use that to put on YouTube, right?
well, yeah. See, right now Skype is up. That's how we getting our video. But I transferred our
Mm-hmm.
video into OBS. So right now I can see both of us clearly here. I got some ridiculous ass backgrounds up just to fucking throw it up there. And
Gotcha.
whatever is exported from OBS, I'm taking that and putting it on YouTube. And then it'll be easier for me to rip the audio as well.
That true, dude.
Yeah, giggity.
Well, I got this still going for backup, just in case if you need it.
For sure. And I think the quality looks a little bit better on here. I mean, but it's the same shit, so whatever. Um, shit. Should I be doing the intro?
It's on you.
I guess.
This is a random one. I just was in,
Yeah.
you know me. I'm always in the mood to do podcasts. So, however this one goes, it goes. I got nothing to push or anything really. I mean, I always got something to push, but nothing really serious to push right now.
Yeah. Let me answer this question real quick. They had you know how they put those hypotheticals up on Twitter and all that shit, and they'd be like, this was one somebody posted. You're quarantined. The last musical artist that you saw live now stuck in your house. Who would it be?
I have to look that up if we're not live yet, right? Because I would have to look that up because whoever was on the last Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival, that was the last concert I went to, and whoever was the closer of that was the last person I saw, and it might have been Nas,
Word.
but I'm looking at my phone and I got my damn browser up. What the
Like
fuck is wrong with me?
with me, I've never been to a concert before.
Really?
Mm,
Not even counting one, say like an intermission at a wrestling show.
I mean, I've never been to a wrestling show where they had music. I lied, WrestleMania, but um, nah, not like legit concert. No, I've never been to one. It's on my bucket list just to say I've been to one. So people ask me, why the fuck you ain't never been to one? And I just
It was Black Star. It was when Mos Def and Tyler Kweli performed, and that was the last one. They didn't have one last year. They didn't have one last year, and then early this year, they decided to pretty much close their doors and do no more. So there's that answer if you ask me during the thing.
all right. Book, book, book. All right, I'm gonna hit the intro. Shit. All right. What up, everybody? This your boy B Rob, and I'm back with another edition of the Random Rambles with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts. If you're a first-time listener, I'd like to thank you oh so much for giving my show a try. And if anybody recommended you to me, I'd like for you to get your device of choice and find your favorite social media app and compose a DM and send it to them and tell them thank you for recommending you to me. Speaking of social media, you can find the Random Rambles with Rob on various social media platforms to include Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch now, Discord. I just made that bullshit. But Twitter, damn, I should have put it on my screen here. But at 3R Show, Instagram at the 3R Show, YouTube search 3R Show. You noticing a theme here is 3R Show, whatever. But if you can't find it individually, you can go to randomrob.com and you can find all the shit pertaining to this podcast on randomrob.com. Joining me once again, you can see him on the screen to whatever side I'm pointing because this camera is mirrored and it's fucking me up. Yeah, see, look, you couldn't even do it either. He's the man in anybody's city. He's the mayor of your town. Joining me is one Mr. Dan Dinkins. How are you, sir?
What up? What up? What up, brother? It's your boy, the mayor. That DJ named Ace 5, all the way from deepest, darkest Africa. What's going on?
Nothing much. Book. If Lou ever listen or watch this, dead ass B, son.
Word up, son.
Straight up and down, B. But we ain't really have no rhyme or reason or whatever. We just gotta. We just want to chat. Just catching up and everything. Because the last time I've seen and spoke with you for the first time and the last time in person was in November when we was at the J1 Con, and it was a crazy experience for me. So if you ever go to Atlantic City, New Jersey, don't go to the Showboat, formerly Casino and Resort, because them bitches is they took all my money. They gave it back, but they gave it back after the fact. I needed it when I was there, goddammit. They charged me for the room beforehand. And then the goddamn security deposit was more than the goddamn room and shit. And then they held that shit, and I needed that goddamn money so I can get into all kinds of debauchery and shit. I had to daggone siphon white Hennessy off of this man right here. He walking around with a solo cup in his mouth.
That was all good. That was all good. I was sharing. You see me? I was offering a little pour up to a little bit of everybody. And normally I don't share the white girl like that. That's what I call the white. I call it the white girl.
Look, I ain't gonna lie, cause like previous to me going down there or whatever, I never met you or whatever, so I didn't know what to expect. But where I'm from, down south, when you talk about that white girl. You talking about that white girl. So he was like, man, you want some of this white girl? I was like, whoa, buddy.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Nah.
wait a minute. I had to text my wife a little bit. I was like, white girl's cocaine, right? And then you pulled out the bottle. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, nah. That's my white girl. That's what I call the white girl. Is the pure white Hennessy. Yeah, but yeah, man. And I normally, like I said, don't share, but it was just one of those occasions where it's like I kind of had to share because, one, it was just the alcohol was a little hard to come by in that space. Yeah. Though it wasn't. It was just, did we want to wait online at the bar? Yeah. Two, was able to walk around with that bitch in the open, so why the fuck not? And three is good. And it was my way of saying thank you to everybody who was a part of what we did that day.
Now, that was way back in November. Seems like decades ago and whatnot, given the current climate of 2020. But
it seems like an eon ago now. Yeah.
I mean, so what has life been like since J1 Con for you? Because I mean, I talked to you sparingly or whatever, but I don't know what's going on day to day with you.
Well, I would say life has improved since then, because 2019 was how everybody's hating 2020 right now. Is how much I hated 2019. And like 2019 was like the darkest of darkest places I've been in life in general. Like I literally considered ending my life in 2019. Like it was that dark. And I'm not taking the podcast that dark, but that's how bad it was then. But ever since 2020 has been a year of all winning for me so far, man. Shout out to my brothers at HHDG Media. Is for those on camera, you can see the shirt. We got the ball finally rolling on this business that we've now owned for over 2 years. We finally got things rolling right now to where if you visit hhdgmedia.com, you can see we got articles up there about music, new music that's coming out. Um, Interviews we did, like I just came off of 2 weeks ago, an interview with the rapper Tracy Lee. I did well, actually, no, we did three different things with him. I did an interview for HHDG Media. Then I had him on my podcast. And then this past Thursday, because if you don't know who Tracy Lee is, besides being a phenomenal MC, he is also a lawyer who practices entertainment. And he gave us the opportunity to have a sit down with him and invite people from the HHDG group that say take music seriously to ask him questions, whether it be legal, whether it be his past in the entertainment world as far as labels and stuff is concerned, and where his focus is right now in being completely branding himself.
Now, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. When you said the name, I was like, that should sound familiar because I went through a little patch back on YouTube where I was just going through I think Sway in the Morning, all the freestyle guests he had on there, and I was just going through video after video, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think he came up on there, and I was like,
well, he's from Philly, so he came up from throughout of Philly.
well, no, that's why I came across him. I mean, I think I came across him on Sway in the Morning. He was freestyling or something. I was like, damn, he sound nice. So I downloaded the album. I think I talked to him about his newest album, but I think I got the album before that on my iPad.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah. So
where he's in I think like the denim jacket in look like a alleyway where all the graffiti on the wall and stuff like that.
Let me double check. I got my media shit right here.
Okay. Well, while you do that, I could tell you, he gave us an exclusive with that. Which that album is fire, right? Mm-hmm. And he gave us an exclusive with that album, as far as us at HHDG, because he's been a member of it. HHDG started off as a hip hop Facebook group. I could give you the whole history of that in a little bit if you want to know about it. But we, as the business owners, he came back to us when that album was coming out and said, yo, for this album with this rollout, I want to do like a bunch of album release parties and stuff. But I want to give y'all the first opportunity to kick off the first one.
Okay.
I said, yo, my boy KB hit me up, told me immediately that's what he wanted to do. I told him, yo, say no more. And it was on and rolling from there. It was a matter of he wanted to do it either in DC, New York, or even Philly, because he's from Philly. He'll drive up to New York, or we brought it to him in DC. Because HHDG is a vast group that spans across the country, across the globe in a way. Like, we have people who are in England. Shout out to my boy Troy the Hybrid. He does a radio show in the UK, and so we can go. We span all over the place. Yeah. We say, you know what? Let's come to you, and we did it in DC. There's a member of the group, my man DJ Cerebral. He was spinning at this bar called Lounger 3. I remembered he was in DC. I remember him mentioning that he DJs in a spot. So he was the first person. Yo, Tracy Lee wants to do this. Yo, what could you do for us? Could you be able to help us out? He's like, all right, yo, give me about a week or so. A week turned into he talked to his boss. We got the upstairs spot. Maybe we had about 40, 50 people come through, and it was a dope night.
Word.
We did. And we was the first ones to debut to the people who signed up to come in because it was a free event. And, he gave us that for him in 2018. We did that for him then. And then now with 2020 with this album, Glory, that's out, I don't know if we were the first. We might have been the first once again to do a virtual album listening party where I played the music. I think I played about 5 or 6 songs off of that. I played a couple songs off the album You Have, and And again, people loved it. Hopefully, people are out there going to buy it. The Glory album, you won't be able to get on iTunes or nothing like that right now. So you'd have to go directly to his website or his Patreon. But it's worth the money. So go do it. And if you like the one that you have, like, it's a dope follow up. The shit is 12 tracks, 37 minutes, and it tells a complete story from front to back.
Now, I mean, it's
like,
just weird or whatever that you bring this to to the podcast or whatnot, because yesterday I was in the car just driving around doing errands or whatever, and that shit came on random select in my car, and it was I don't even think it was the song, one of the songs from the album. I think it was one of the interludes or whatever, when he was talking about how he quit rap to be a lawyer and all kind of stuff. So whenever you said the name, and I was like, that's that lawyer motherfucker.
yeah, man. If you want to get him too, man, I could reach out to him for you. He'll be more than glad to possibly do the interview with you, because
Yes,
he's still pushing the album. I could try to make that happen.
I'm down with that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Man, we gotta. I'm a giver. I told you, I shared the white girl. So if we could share, if we could share our resources, especially us as podcasters who are not on the Rogan-esque level, if we could get somebody who is known, of course I'm willing to help you out and get that, man. Because that's one. Tracy's a homie too. So if I say, hey, my man in Texas would like to interview you, whether I tell them to hit you up directly, or you do what you do to me, just give me the interview link. Pick a time.
That's funny, because like I did the same thing yesterday. I'm dubbing him the Random Rounds with Rob interview champion, Sir John Lee. He is, so far out of the 4-year span, he's been the most recurring guest on this podcast and everything. He does music. He's a phenomenal artist and producer. And I think he did a track or two for this girl named Ronnie. And I downloaded the album. You can get it on iTunes. Matter of fact, I'm going to plug that right now. Where is that? There we are. It's called Paradise. I should probably be more professional and put it on the actual feed screen and everything. Look, you put your screen on my screen. I'll send it to you. We'll do that. But I was listening to an album, and it's real good, man. And
I realized I was on mute, and I was saying iPhone 11 Plus gang.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
all.
gang. I ain't got no cool case though. It's like,
yeah. You gotta get up on that shit, man.
My magnet fucked me up, because like my wife bought me one of them little joints to stick on the window, and I stick the magnet on there and it hold my phone up. But seeing that I have this magnet on the back of my case, I can't put it on my wireless charger. I was like, oh.
You want to make shit blow up.
But her song came on random select yesterday. Matter of fact, came on right after the Tracy Lee shit. And I was just listening to her music, and I was like, man, this is some good shit. So I text her, John Lee. I was like, hey, man, you think your friend be down the pod? He be like, she should be. And he texted me back a little while later. He's like, she down? I was like, hit a link. Send that to
her. All good. Cool, man. I'll do that then. I think I have the link saved somewhere.
Yeah. And if you don't, you know where to get it.
Yeah.
Randomrob.com. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Yeah, but you see me. But like I said, man, 2020 has been good so far. It's been a year of being on the up and up, better than last. And even though with all the chaos and stuff going on, which I respect and understand how people think this might be shit, but I can't sit back and harbor everybody else's pain and stuff that I'm not going through.
Exactly.
Because 2020 hasn't been that bad for me at all. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's we all have our little rough patches and little bumps and shit in the road here and there, but so far this year has been a year of all positives, other than the fact of, recent times I've just been struggling with my, damn, now I want to get out, because at least 2 to 3 times a year. And being like,
Yeah.
it's hard to just kind of get out away from the family for a few minutes and go check, chill with the friends and shit like that. And that's been the only tough spot. But I don't look at it as like oh damn, I got to get like these folks and fuck the mask and I gotta go party, I gotta be this, that, and the third. Nah, I'm respecting people's how they're feeling towards this whole virus, because this shit has really changed people. This virus has really
Yeah.
changed people, and a lot of people are changed now permanently. A lot of permanent scarring has been done due to this virus, and it sucks.
Yeah. Man, 2020 has been good for me as well. I mean, I'm fortunate enough during these times to still be working, so that's cool as well. And you know, look around me. 2020 brought me this. You know, that fucking stimulus check helped a little bit with this,
Yep,
but
yep. That shit came through right on time.
yeah, and I mean, I don't understand. I mean, to your point, I said I don't understand what the big deal is with everybody else talking about how I need to get out and do all this other stuff. I was like, I much rather enjoy being home. This is my jam. This is my
Nah,
shit.
I could dig
You
it, but
know.
nah, I need to escape. One of these days, it might be coming soon, man. I need to escape because, like recently, like this past month, it's just felt like Groundhog's Day. I'm talking about, the movie where it's just get up,
Yeah, yeah,
same time, do the same shit, come back home, make sure the kids didn't blow the place up while they were with their grandfather, and then go back to sleep. Oh no, not even go to sleep. Hit out on the porch like I'm doing now. Get my smoke in during
yeah.
the night. Listen to my podcasts. It's been the same rotating cipher for and the cipher starts over again on Monday, where we have it's
Hmm.
work, come home, make sure the kids didn't tear the place up, have my business meeting. Then Wednesday, the podcast. Then Thursday is supposed to be a podcast for HHDG, but that's one of the most consistent, inconsistent podcasts out. Which
Oh, sounds like wrestling is
in
trash.
a way we just started that this year. Like we finally got it rolling
Yeah.
because thanks to Zoom. But it's I say consistent because when we talk, the content is there, but the inconsistency is we're not doing it every week like we were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I can understand that. I believe you told me way back when, but I forgot. HHDG. What does it stand for?
The hip hop discussion group. Um,
All right. Fairly
yeah, yeah,
simple,
yeah,
straight to
yeah.
the point.
Well, I'll give you the history of it as to best of my knowledge. Also, well, it's not just the best of my knowledge. I've been down for 8 of the last 10 years. This year, this 10th year, no, I've been down a little longer than that. But this year marks the 10-year anniversary in December of the creation of the group. It was created by, as we call the Godfather, Jeff Nelson. He's from South Jersey. I believe he's from the Willingboro area, where my boy JP, the one you met at J1Con, who was my
Yeah.
co-host, is from. He created this hip hop group because he wanted to argue with people online about how great the rapper Cannabis was.
He was pretty good.
He was pretty damn good, but a lot of people, forgot about him. Um, uh, didn't realize that he's still been recording music over the years. Like he was a part of the group The Horsemen. Uh, that I think they put out maybe 2 albums or 2 different mixtapes. The Horsemen was him, Razkaz, Killer Priest, and I forgot who the fourth was. But it was a dope collection of like dope individual rappers that came together and made a group that it didn't pop off or whatever. But so Jeff made the group to argue about cannabis. Um, uh, a couple years at maybe like a year or so after, me and my boy Ian, my brother, who is I've known me and him known each other since diapers in a way because our mothers were best friends back in the day. We was in this other Facebook group. I'm not going to mention their name. There's no bad reason. I'm just not. I don't no need to shout that group out because it's kind of dead.
Yeah.
Um, we was going we was going crazy in that group as far as posting shit, posting stuff that people didn't know about, artists that people didn't know about, and we was always posting fire. So there was this girl in there. Shout out to my girl who happens to be with that. She's together now with my boy Ian. Uh, this how this whole thing is just so crazy and convoluted. A lot of lives have changed from this thing, but so she saw us, she knew us from the group and all that. I used to talk to her just as, some friend shit because it was cool and all that. And it was like, yo, I'm in this hip hop group over here. You want to join? I was like, yo, bet. I was like, add me and my boy Ian in. We've been in there. We did the same thing over there that everybody just took notice to us like that. Mm-hmm. And that group has always, because it's such a large number of people in the group, they've always maintained at least 10 or more different admins for the group. We're up to like 22 now, where it's most of the admins are people who, like when we've done meet and greets and stuff like that, like people who've came out, people who are active in the group and willing to participate in the management of the hip hop group.
Yeah.
So back when we got in, we was like one and two of like, say, like the first like 800 members of the group or so. Fast forward through the years, up to I think we're over like 5,000 or 6,000, maybe more. There's about 5,000 or 6,000 people waiting to get in the group.
Look. Just let me know.
I can put you in.
No. Just let me know when you get over 9,000, just so I can yell that it's over 9,000.
Yeah, well, literally at the click of a button, we could be at 10,000 because there's over 5,000 waiting to get in. Mm-hmm. But we're really selective in how people get in because we have basic rules that we ask everybody to follow. Because a lot of people think that they could just join these hip hop groups just to blast and throw up their trash music
and all that stuff. Yeah,
we don't work that way. We don't work that way. It's get yourself into the discussions in the posts. Get yourself known in the group. Mm-hmm. Find out that you are an artist. Then it's like, hey, any members got, when we post up something, or eventually, like, because we know you, it's like, hey, I make music. Yo, check my shit out. And then just be prepared for legit criticism.
Yeah, the building of a community. It's been ringing in my ear a little bit here lately. I've come across the app Discord. You ever heard of it?
I'm in 2 different Discord servers.
All right.
One shout out to my homegirl Q from Gadgets and Geekery. She got one for the 21 and overs. Mm-hmm. And I'm in another one by a faction for the WWE Champions game.
Oh, okay.
For real players. And they like a lot of the people who play that game, they like, if you're in a faction, they demand that you're in one. So when like faction feuds and stuff come up, you just comment there instead of comment in the games chat, because the games chat is terrible.
Yeah, I played that for a little bit and I kind of got out of it. But yeah, it's just like I got in Discord or whatever. I started up my server or whatnot. This is an app that I had for a long ass time, just never used it because it's just like, I like getting at people on Twitter. I like doing whatever I do on Instagram or whatever. But to me, it's just like now to have another app with all these wonderful resources within it, and then ask somebody else to download another app, another thing to put in their phone that they may or may not use just to do this one thing or whatever. It just kind of irks my nerves.
Yeah.
But like, I've been in there and I'm enjoying all the features that it offer and whatnot, the flexibility of the app. And no, this is not a paid sponsorship or a plug for motherfucking Discord. But
no, but if you're following your page, if you're following your show, if you're a follower of Random Ramblings, join the Discord, because that's an easier, more closer way to get in contact with you than, say, having to dig through Twitter and their bullshit. Or, even Instagram. Instagram is easier, but it's a more centralized community where you got everybody in. You have to approve people to get in
Mhm.
and stuff like that, and you can make it more personable in a way.
Yeah. So I'm just learning all the different things right now. I set it up, and you got a couple of hoops you have to jump through before you get in there. You got to punch a panda in the face and everything before I let you in the club. And I'm for real. It's just like it's in
Hmm.
there. It's one of the options. You got to punch a panda
Midget,
in the face.
midget tossing.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
to
midget.
throw them up and RKO them before you come down.
That sounds good. I'm gonna hit one in a little bit.
Yeah, but with HHDG, what is your community like? I mean, what is your interactions with it been so far?
It's a mixed bag. Let's just say that you have our you have the hip hop purists, you could say. You have those that are on the fringes of, they're still dedicated to whatever comes on the
Mm-hmm.
radio or whatever's hot right now. Um, you got the old head that hip hop died in '88 type.
Yeah, get off my lawn.
Those are the most fucking. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of young kids that are making trash rap right now,
Mm-hmm.
but those old heads need to cut their shit because it's like, yo, pop has been an ever evolving, ever growing thing. We had our time. Let the kids have theirs.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you still like a certain style or level of music, if you actually pick up that rock that you're living under and look outside amongst the trees and the fresh air and all that, you can find new
Mm-hmm.
artists that are still doing the same style of rap that you grew up in love.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the ABC rhymes of the Furious Five and the Treacherous 3 Days,
Mm-hmm.
but you can still get the style of rap that you love. And that's one of the things that's a great thing in the group. Once again, I got to shout out my brother Ian on this again because my man is so ill with it that, as I like to say, he could find a dope artist hidden under a mountain in Iowa that you never heard of that spits fire and makes dope ass music.
Word.
And that's one of the great things about our group as a resource because not only him, you have a whole host of others who are diggers of and lovers of the music end of the culture besides just lovers of the culture. Because me personally, I'm a person who's the culture. Like I am, like hip hop is my
Mm-hmm.
culture, is how I look at it. And I don't do as much digging for the music anymore because they kind of do it for
Mm-hmm.
me. My end of things is I like to be the one to try to bring us together. So over the years, me and we set up the first meet and greet that we had as a group where we got up. There was maybe about 20 of us that came out, and we became like some of us became instant family after that night.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was literally like, yo, if they're doing something, I'm coming out type shit. And so it's been like that for years now where we had annual meet and greets up to maybe a few years ago. Those annual meet and greets where we hung out and partied turned into Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival, which is something that I mentioned to you before we started recording,
Mm-hmm.
which is now defunct. But Brooklyn Hip Hop Festival became our annual mass get up. Like we all got up, and people was flying from other parts of the country to come kick it with us in Brooklyn, check out the show. We go out and eat after, hang out, have drinks after, and then maybe we'll kick it another day after two or so, man. Like we've made this community for the majority of us. We've made this community more of a family atmosphere outside of the Facebook group. A lot of people haven't gotten up outside of the Facebook group and just stick to the Facebook group. But all in all, man, this whole journey has been an experience, and it now turned for me into a business. Myself, my boy KB, my man Ed, he goes by Skelly Tops.
Whoa, whoa,
My
whoa, whoa,
boy,
whoa, whoa, whoa. I need.
yeah, he does a blog. He does a blog called Skelly Tops,
Okay.
Grown Folk Hip Hop. But that was one of his names on Facebook, Skelly Top.
Okay, I need some context, some backstory on that one. You just can't spot out that name and keep rolling on with the
Oh,
story.
Well, no, because I pretty much gave it to you just
Yeah.
there. He did a blog called Skelly Tops, and it was about grown folk hip hop, neo soul music, stuff like that. But he called it Skelly Tops because that came from that era that we came up in, where we used to be in the street playing the game Skellies. Remember, where you get a bottle cap, you fill it with like melted crayon or melted candle wax, and it was a game where you played in a big box, a big grid, and you plucked it from 1 to 13, and whoever got from 1 to 13 wins.
Word. I ain't never played no shit like that.
Uh, I didn't. I don't know if y'all had that in Louisiana,
No.
but that's definitely a New York thing for
Yeah,
real.
straight up, son.
Uh, no, but also, like I said, my part in what I've done within the group, as far as like the event thing, like through that, I hosted a hip hop karaoke show in Staten Island. Um, I've grew inspiration to do photography to where I did and hosted my own gallery show in 2015
Mhm.
of my photography work that I called I Love Vinyl, because I DJ. I have a decent collection of vinyl, not on the Questlove Bismarcky level
Yeah.
of collection of
I
vinyl,
don't think nobody ever
but
will.
I, yeah, they're insane with it. But I did a whole photo shoot of my daughter, my oldest daughter, who's now about to turn 13 next week, and she was the I guess you could say the antagonist of the thing, or protagonist of the whole thing, where I did different shots, making it look like she was like on a journey with understanding, learning records. Like I have a shot where I have her walking away from 1520 Cedric Avenue. 1520 Cedric Avenue is the home of hip hop,
Mm.
the birthplace of
Yeah.
the hip hop culture. I have a shot of her walking away from that. There was a wall that's not too far from there that used to have this big mural that says "Dream Big." So I have a shot of her leaning up against the wall, holding a portable record player with headphones on, like looking like this, like to make it look like she's
Dreaming
dreaming
big.
big. Yeah, like I did a whole series of shots with that. Um, I've got myself and my homegirl Sarah. We set up where we've hosted the world famous Executioners, or AKA the Odd Couple, DJ Rob Swift and Mr. Sinister. We hosted them on Staten Island, and they did a live show for people who paid to come in. That was dope. We did the Tracy Lee album release party, and now as far as the business end, we're going to be operating as like a multimedia type of presence. To where right now, if you go to hhdgmedia.com, you can see that we have articles written up about new music that's coming out. Eventually, we're going to we've already had a merch store via Teespring,
Mhm.
but we're going to have the merch store live through the website, to where you could come there, buy T-shirts, stuff like that. You could get shirts like this or newer ones. We're gonna have custom pieces too, because my man T Smith, he does some of the heat pressing
Mhm.
stuff, and he's made some designs that we're gonna offer like exclusive. Like you have to order that specifically through us and not the Teespring, because Teespring beautifully takes all the work out of your
Yeah.
hands. So
Shit. Same thing with Printful, the place that I use, or whatever. Like this lovely beanie right here that I'm sporting on my dome piece. You know, I have the means here. I got my vinyl cutter here, to make my own shirts and stuff. I didn't make this one, but I can make something like this. But man, those places like Printful and Teespring and all that stuff, I mean, they make it so convenient, man. But the only thing is,
it is.
they the profit.
And you know what? And to be honest with you, like, because personally, like with the starting five, I don't mind it,
Yeah.
because you're taking the work out of my hands. Yeah, okay, I'll get $11 a T-shirt. A little inside baseball for
Yeah.
y'all who don't already do this, but they take almost half. You get a little bit more than
Hmm.
half, because you provide the design. They're providing the shirt and the ink,
And shit, and they ship
and
it.
and the shipping. So yeah, so it's like, yo, like personally, like, hey, go here. I'll take half the
Hmm.
profits. And then personally, with the Star Five, my partners know I keep it because I do all the work. I do all the work, and it's not
Makes
that
sense.
I just keep it. Like I put it back into it goes back into the
Yeah.
show by way of paying for Zoom. You know, when the websites come back up, it's paying for the
Exactly.
website, things like that. You know, so but another one I found, Redbubble. I think it's called
Yeah.
Redbubble. They have the even better. This is where I got the phone
Mhm.
case even better than the one that Teespring
Yeah.
did. And Teespring stopped at the iPhone X. Redbubble goes all the way up to the 11 Pro Max.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I had to get that. Plus, they got the COVID mask. So if you wanted to do the custom mask, they got it there because Teespring was giving me such a fucking hard time to do the neck gaiter. I was like, fuck it. I found them. They got like the nice metal recyclable water bottles. They have it's just so many different merch options out there,
Mhm.
and these websites. All right, fine, you take half. I'm okay with it because you take tons of work out of our hands.
Yeah.
That is saying, you know, we all got to eat, and you're in a way they're doing us a favor by even providing the service.
Yeah. I just like. I wish I had some more money. But first of all, I mean, I can't even really complain about wanting more money. I have to make money. So there you go. I need to buy some shit. Goddamn it! Go to randomrob.com.
And the start5podcast.com. Hit that merch
Yeah,
link.
hit it two
Sir, pay
times.
us. Give us a little bit of change, man. A little
Yeah.
bit of change goes a long
Yeah,
way.
yeah. I mean, shit. Like I've been saying since I started podcasting in here, this paint on this walls came from a T-shirt purchase. Somebody bought a T-shirt, and I took that money and bought some paint for this motherfucker.
Hey, see. Now anybody who watches you on YouTube can see that their donations went to, or we'll do it the Dr. Umar way. Donations, gifts, gifts.
Yep. But man, it's just like I mean, I'm glad to see that you're doing well. You got this big, optimistic, aura about you and whatnot. HHDG. What is like? All right, you got Tracy Lee, kind of rocking with you right now. If you could have,
We've had a number now. Not to cut you, I'm
mhm,
sorry, but we've had a number of celebrities within that were group members. Um, we had Pete Rock was in there for some time. I think he's still in the group, but he hasn't come out in a while. I'm not gonna say his alias out
mhm,
there. Um, our homie who I've had on the podcast years ago, Will Strickland, who he's a friend. I could call him type of person right now. He's been on our podcast, but also he's been a longtime member of HHDG. I've helped. That's how we got to know him. He lives in Canada. He's from out here in New York, but he lives in Canada. He helps run the Full Court 21 basketball tournament with Bobito the Barber, Bobito Garcia from Stretch and Bobito. Um, he does that. He used to work on the TSN network up there, which is the ESPN affiliate of Canada. He's done a number of things. We had Jerobi in the group from A Tribe Called Quest. Um, Bones Malone, the famous hip hop writer, and you've seen him in movies. I just can't remember which movies you've seen him. Oh, the one I can remember. You ever see the silly movie White Boys back in the day?
uh,
Where the guy Danny Hooch was the star, and he thought he was black, but he was really white. But he was trying to be a rapper out of Iowa.
oh man,
But Bones Malone was in
oh
that
man, you
movie
got me
too.
thinking about Malibu
But
Most Wanted.
well, nah. That was the shit. Good. That was funny, silly, funny shit too. But yeah, but we've had a number of celebrities over the years in the McDaniel's video music box fame,
Mhm.
which you might have seen him on TV, but that's definitely a New York thing, like a New
I
York
know of him
tri-state.
from hearing you talk about him.
I've had him on my podcast years ago. I think he's a member of the group. But we had a number of different celebrities that like kind of pop in on threads here and there. Couple underground artists like Shy Stimuli is in the group.
Mhm.
Um, it was just too many names over the years that it's like people that are underground known that do things that do music actively that have been members of this group over the years. My
Yeah,
boy T. Smith, my boy T. Smith actually, who's one of the partners in HHDG Media, the business end of it. He's got over 25 plus years in the TV and movie industry himself. He's worked for Spike Lee.
mhm.
He's been a part extras in movies. He's been a part of like the casting process, the location scout process, filming. He was a part of, I think, Yo MTV Raps' second iteration before they finally said goodbye. Um, a lot of Viacom stuff that we've seen on TV, Netflix, or whatever, he's been behind. So we have people that are industry like, and I gotta shout out my man Seuss the Connect. Seuss the Connect is the person who actually influenced us into starting this as a business, and he's been in the industry for some time now. He does a lot of road management work for the singer Case. He's got a couple of the artists under his belt that are known out there. I don't remember any of the names right now, man. So industry ties, like we have a lot of people within there that can be resources. Plus, we have a lot of group members who know people who know people who know people and know people who know people who can, are major players out there in this thing.
Now, before you cut me off, motherfucker,
I am sorry.
take a breath for a minute, smoke a cigar. What I was gonna get at, you got this group or whatever. I mean, you just mentioned a lot of your affiliates and whatnot. But if you could take one artist that may not be well known, somebody from on the underground, on the come up, and be the spokesman for HHDG, who would it be?
There's several. The first ones I would go to is my friends Spotless Minds. That's Simone Arabia and Fever. And these two, I tell you.
And wasn't they at the thing?
These.
And the J1?
Yeah.
They was at the J1. Well, yeah.
Those two, you want to talk about phenomenal MCs that the world needs to hear? It's them two. Them two, you know what? I'm gonna try to pull up something to play because they won't mind, and you won't get no copyright strikes on this. Let me see if I can find. I don't have that. Damn it.
Do they have a page or something? Because I could pull the page up.
Yeah. If you're on Facebook, look up I think Spotless Minds Music.
Let me get in there.
I don't have them on my phone right now.
All right.
Normally, that was one of the albums I never really deleted from them. But like Simone, I champion her. I've known her now at least 8-9 years now, almost.
What the Facebook page look like?
They might have their album cover Lacuna on there.
So it's like a little white logo deal. No,
I got.
That's
hold
not
on.
it.
Spotless Minds with a Z.
And
it has like
that's where they come in with the trickery. I put an S.
Yeah, and my dumbass should have known better because I wrote Spotless Minds with an S instead of a Z.
I got them because I got their shoes up here.
I got it, and here let me take my headphones out. You hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm looking at all their tennis shoes on their Facebook.
Here we go. I'm gonna play this for you. It's coming through good.
Yo, don't even ask me about how nice I am. Through the struggle and the strength, I devised a plan. One with the universe well inside my hands. Rock with me, it's survival jam, survival jam. I was born in the Parker party, spark to unify. My future can be seen by few through a human eye. In the apple I reside, but concrete skin collide with society made me the rebel that I am. Funky 4 plus 1 more. See, I was rocking planets, record deals to Sugar Hill, backspins on granite. And a piece of cardboard, we spark wars, fresh clothes, matching shell toes when we froze on floors. Times, we still hard from the poor way, tougher than leather. Before a light jumped out, I crushed grooves, my spit hotter than the third rail. My boys is too fat to be in jail with no bail. Fly girls for showstoppers, rockin' dome knockers, licensed to ill, still busy bee was popping. Streets begin to pop, Scott LaRock was killed, R.I.P. the cowboy. Man, them times was ill. I remember when I realized I was downstairs inside of the cover.
That was just a snippet. I'm not giving you. The track was only about 2 minutes long, but I had to give you a little snippet.
Word.
Those are people who I would say if there was a flag waver for the group that I would want, it would be them first and foremost. Part because them as a group was formed through through HHDG as a Facebook
Word.
group.
So
They met through there. They, now they've been dating for some years now. They live together in DC, in the DMV area, and but when it comes to making phenomenal music, these two do it. Damon does the beats. The dude you heard rapping, he makes the beats. He raps phenomenally.
yeah,
Simone is phenomenal on the mic. Plus, she does movies. Like she went to school for movie, film, and television, movie stuff like that. So she does a lot of the videos and things like that. Like as a creative package, that's a totally dope group and duo. I would go with them. Next up, if not them, I would go with my boys Seven the Panther and Fred Binns, who Fred Binns and Seven have put out a number of dope projects also via the group. And Seven is a monster. He's like his vocally, like his you would get hooked just through his vocals alone. My man Fred Binns on the beats, it's crazy. And in fact, if you wanted to hear them and get to know and understand who they were, just listen to the intro track to our podcast, The Starting Five, every week.
word.
They gifted us the last two podcasts. And actually, if you wanna if you pull it up on YouTube, if you could put that in the stream too, you could pull it up on YouTube. I'll you know what? I'll find it for you right now while we in this shit, and I'll send it to you in the chat here on Skype, and then you can play
For
it.
shizzle.
It's yeah. It's, I mean, the if you want to talk about people who I would want as being like the quote unquote flag bearers in representatives, like if we're putting them on the flag of HHDG, as far as artists are concerned, those would be them. But just as a group as a whole, I would put us just as a collective, because we in this hip hop thing, again, number one is we love the culture.
Yeah.
Is we have a love for the culture. There's the link right there. Number two is, again, we're people of a certain age, most of us, but we, for the most part, we're not those stuck in the 80s and 90s cats. Like, we love and embrace what comes out today, whether it is, and like I say, you don't have to go to the radio and listen to the Migos or whatever trap or drill sound or whatever it is that's out there. There's so many people that are still doing boom bap rap today. Another name that I can mention from the group, that's a young kid out of Nebraska. He goes by the name Kenny Bars. That kid has got like 5 or 6 projects out, and each project comes with a different vibe, different sound, and lyrically, his voice, this kid is fucking bananas.
Yeah,
this kid should be.
Here.
Go ahead. This is Fred Binns and this is Bunchy Carter and Fred Binns. As soon as he presses play. Hopefully it's coming through the stream, because it's not coming through here.
The star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the Panther. That dude Biz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting 5 forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, blue jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot to death, oh yes, these other sports podcasts live as a pro's corpse. Biz market wave, the starting 5 goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the boys ever. No longer got any use for the 4 letters. The latest news, score stats and the view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a parting line. It's always in season to people starting 5. We going in on 3, Run the baseline, start 5, get it. We got what you need. If it's sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. Yeah, we going in on 3. Run the baseline, start 5, get it. We got what you need. And y'all know me, 7 sign. I'm the illest cat spit. I got what you need.
Word. Yeah. So now, from what I've been listening to and everything, some of the people that you brought up, some of the music that you played or whatever, there's like a theme to it and whatnot. It's just like you have your genre of rap there, your certain particular style and whatnot. Tell me something a little unorthodox or whatever. What's an artist that you listen to that I or somebody else wouldn't believe that you listen to? You know, it doesn't have to be specifically rap. It could be any genre of music.
Well, I kind of say that it would be hard to believe that I would listen to, because like I'm a heavy person into house music, and I like that soul house music. Like, I'm not a religious person. I'm technically a non-believer if you want to put me in a box, but in house music, it's like as you sneak the medicine in that spoon of applesauce. That's the one way you could get me to listen to something semi-gospel like and churchy like in house music. But maybe punk rock music, if you want to say it's a surprise, which truly it isn't for me. But like I like Bad Brains. My favorite punk though, and they became my favorite after this whole story. If you could find a movie, because it's not on Netflix anymore, called A Band Called Death. I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's about these guys called the Hackney Brothers. That story is like, holy shit. These dudes, they put out an album, it's called For the World to See. It's maybe 7 or 8 tracks. It's about 27 minutes long. But it's all dope. And it's all music, it's all punk rock music from I think their time in the 60s and 70s. That group could technically be credited as the first punk rock band.
Word.
But they didn't. It was bands like the Ramones who got put up first, because at that time, I think they came out in 68 or something like that. At that time, the record labels and the record industry didn't believe in a black group, an all-black group, who happened to be an all-black group of brothers. They did not believe that they could or should be doing that style of music.
Word.
The story gets even crazier if you watch that movie. I don't know if you do spoilers or not. I don't, whatever. I'll leave it out this time, because normally I don't care if people do spoilers. I'm going to tell you. But watch that movie, and then you're going to be like, yo, I have to go grab this album. I have to go grab this album. And that's immediately what I did. In that story, they had this incident where I think their house got caught on fire. They almost lost just about all their music, with the exception of a certain amount of albums that the record company had pressed up that was still floating around. And how they got rediscovered was, there was this radio show, I think in Detroit in like the early 2000s or something like that, and this guy brought them up and said, yeah, these brothers, the Hackney Brothers, they got to, they almost lost everything in the house fire. One of the brothers died, this, that, and the third. And this record is floating around the internet at that time for $850. And so me, the record collector that I am, I even started digging, because this is years after that radio interview, which I never knew about, because I didn't watch, if I didn't watch the movie, I never would have knew about them. So I went digging and I found that shit. And I think it was on eBay at the time for $800. But like this, their whole aura and their whole story is just, it's incredible. It's incredible. So if there's any surprise, it's punk rock music.
Very well. I pulled it up on the thing here so people have a visual reference. If you go to YouTube and you type in A Band Called Death, the documentary is there to view. You can either buy it or rent it. And then they got those YouTube motherfuckers on there. They got the bootleg on there, so you can watch the full documentary on YouTube.
I tried to find the bootleg and I couldn't find it. I didn't see the full version up there.
Well, they say it's the full version. Who knows? You click on that shit, it might be clickbait.
Yeah,
but you can.
it's.
But you can rent and buy it on YouTube as well.
Most of those links are like the Busta Rhymes type beats, Wu-Tang type beat. Where they try to get you in with that fucking fuckery of a headline.
Man,
So, if there's any shocker musically that I listen to, I would say it's that. It's that if you want to really consider that a shocker, because if you think about it, punk rock and hip hop are kind of together in a way. By look at the Beastie Boys, or if you just do the whole knowledge of each culture in general, they were both rebellious cultures. They were both anti-government, anti-this, that, and the third type of cultures. These two things coincide in ways that some people don't want to respect it as that.
Mm-hmm.
People want to assume hip hop is black culture. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But hip hop has always been a universal culture. Because black folks, white folks, Latinos, Hispanics have been down with it from the beginning. From the block parties, from the park jams in the Bronx and all that stuff. Like, this was a bringing together of community that didn't have shit, as a whole. And so it's always been a thing for everybody, but it is most representative of black culture. And punk rock music, I mean, let's keep it real. Music in general is all black music. Even if you go to shitty country music and go to what's his name, I think Charlie Pride, I think his name is, and go back far like that. Like, music is all black. It's all us. It came from us. These instruments came from us, from Africa, and there's so many tiebacks and stuff that you could do when you go through music history that brings you right back to the motherland. That it's like, this is all our shit. It's all our shit.
To add to shit that you might not think that I listen to, look up a gentleman named Oliver Peck. So
I've heard that name before.
Yeah. So just look that guy up, listen to some music, and you'll be thoroughly surprised. Be like, what the fuck, Rob?
This guy from Ink Master?
Oh no, it's not rap. It's just it's.
No, but the guy who was on Ink Master, because I put in Oliver Peck on YouTube, and the first person that comes up is the guy from Ink Master.
Let me see. Maybe I might be misquoting his name because I don't know a lot about him, but I've wandered across him. Let's see.
Because if it was this guy, I got a funny story for you on Ink Master. My sister-in-law and brother-in-law made it onto Ink Master. And it was the episode where they did portraits of people's faces. Of family members' faces. Yeah. And my sister-in-law got her husband's face done on her back and she got it because they made it on the show and all that. But on the episode they was on,
it's Orville Peck. My bad, Orville.
Oh, Peck. Okay. But since we're on the Ink Master, you gotta look up Ink Master. Look up Leatherface, and I wanted to send you the link of this one where it was like a compilation of the worst faces done. But when you look at it, I'm gonna send it to you. The first, you know how they give you like that first image on a link.
Yeah.
It shows you what they're gonna get into. The first face you see is the Leatherface, the woman who they said looks like Leatherface. And when they did the season finale episode, right? My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law was in the crowd and all that, and they rehashed the fact that, like, when they were sitting in the green room or whatever, waiting and looking at the other person's tattoo, when they were doing the whole judging thing, I just sent you the link.
Yeah.
If you click it and you see that first woman's face, it's an older white lady. My brother-in-law was the one that said, like, oh, like, damn, like, that they made her look like Leatherface in that shit. and he became the villain. He became the villain on that episode of Ink Master. It was funny.
Word. All right, I got the link right here.
He said Orville Peck.
Yeah, Orville.
I found it. Okay. Oh, I can see why you like this dude.
Because he's random.
Oh, but he had a mask on. Oh nah. You hear that?
Oh yeah, I've heard the music. I mean, it's not a
Nah. Yeah, I could just say nah. That ain't for me.
yeah, it's
But,
not a go-to. But like, if it come on my random joint or whatever, I'm like, all right, I'll listen to this.
yeah, I could dig that. But the mask thing. I mean, the mask. I could see.
He's a
it.
gimmick.
And,
He's a character. I like him.
yeah, yeah. And that's it. Brings it to wrestling in a way. It brings it to. I can't even call it. Well, this is like a C.H. Martin Woolworth toy luchador wrestler that just stayed in the pose like this with that kind of mask on. That's what he looks like.
Yeah, man. It's just I forgot how I come across him. I think what it was what's your boy name? Trinidad James. It was in that same span when I found Tracy Lee or whatever. I was just going through looking at Sway in the Morning and some of the interviews and the freestyles that was on there. And they was talking to Trinidad James. And there was a question to Trinidad James that was in my mind about Trinidad James. Where the fuck he at? Where he been? He ain't been doing no music. And he was answering that question. And then later on in the interview, he got to talk about characters, how he loved characters, and he brought up Orville Peck. And then I was like, so I looked him up. And I was like, this is a character. This is a luchador. And I just threw the song in the queue. Because usually when I get a recommendation from somebody, or even if another artist that I kind of enjoy, even in the slightest, if they recommend somebody, I sort it out. I'll download the album, and I'll throw it in my queue, and I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yeah, and that's usually the best way to find people out. It's like places like this, like podcasts and stuff like that, or just interviews, and you listen to see who they say, and one thing leads to another.
Mm-hmm. And that's usually how you get kids.
Yeah, this is true. But that's how I found a band called Death. I literally was just like, I was on a punk wave at one time. I think it was 2012 or 2011. When I came back from Chicago, because
I'm glad you made it back.
Right, true indeed. Well, we went out there because we had a game out there when I was playing football for my job team, and right before there, I was no, it was there. When we all got there on a Thursday. Now normally we fly in on Fridays, but because there was 20 plus of us of the team going on Thursday, because we made it a little vacation, the team from Chicago, they hosted a party for us that day, which normally you have to host, like league rules was you have to host a post-game party. But they hosted a pre-thing party because they knew a whole bunch of us was coming, and we had history with them as far as the first iteration of the football team. Like, they fought and championed for us to be a part of the league. So they did this party for us. They brought us to this bar called Mother's in Chicago. Me being the inquisitive person that I am, I looked it up and I was like, oh shit. Mother's was a historical punk rock bar back in the Chicago days. And then it led me to when I came home, I just said, let me look up Mother's. I looked it up some more. I found a documentary. I think it was called Chicago, The History of Punk Rock Music. And then I started digging from there. And like, I've already kind of been a fan of certain punk rock musics and bands and things like that beforehand. But to know that I was inside of a place that had such history when it came to the punk rock scene, that I was like, holy shit. And that's what, again, just connections. That's what brought me into learning more, that's what led me into learning about the Hackney Brothers and a band called Death and all that. And yeah, it's just the want to know sometimes.
Word. So we've been here chopping it up for a minute and everything, and before we ride out and whatnot and handle business, you familiar with wrestling is trash, correct?
I was on it. You
Oh no,
forgot.
no,
You
no.
said
I
the
didn't.
last time was
I
J1,
didn't. I
but
didn't forget.
you just
I didn't forget. I'm just queuing it up for the people who may be listening who don't know what wrestling is trash is.
true
You
indeed.
are familiar with the concept of the promo in the bank, right?
Yes. You heard
Surprise,
mine about
motherfucker.
Cashing in. So, sir, before you leave me, you're gonna have to give me a 1 minute promo about HHDG. Your time starts now.
So you want to know? You got a problem with my group, the crew, HHDG, the best hip hop Facebook group, bar none. You want to come in this group now and disrupt every little thing that we do because you might hate Takashi 69. Guess what, motherfucker? We don't like that nigga either. We don't like it either. So if you want to stay on the bad side of us, keep talking shit about it. Because eventually, you know what's going to happen. Your ass is going to get banned and blocked. And we're going to delete you from the group. Just like we delete his posts. Just like we delete every Jay-Z versus Nas post that gets posted in there. Because we are tired of the same old, same old. We're tired of your bullshit and your constant dragging down of the kids. They told you before, Wu-Tang is for the children. Hip-hop now is for the children. And HHDG, part of our quest, besides to remind you occasionally of the past, is to let you know that hip-hop has a future.
Word.
So keep fucking with our future if you want to. But we still going to be standing here, standing.
It was over a minute, but you was on the roll. I just let you go.
Yeah, you got to let it ride sometimes, man. No script.
Yeah.
No script.
But
You
man,
know,
it's been great to catch up with you or whatever thing. I mean, I've received a thorough education in the genre of music and hip hop and punk rock and everything since we've been here chatting and whatnot. I learned a little bit more about HHDG, and you cut a promo on me. So before we go, since you plugged HHDG enough, why don't you go ahead and plug the starting five and everything else that you got going on across social media?
of course I will. Well, first and foremost, because we was on HHDG today, make sure you hit up hhdgmedia.com. Once again, you can see up there, you can find out about the history of the group. There's a nice little paragraph or two that shows the history, a brief history of the group. There's a couple articles we have written up there. One of them is from me. I reviewed the Tracy Lee album before it dropped, and we got the links up there so you can go purchase that. We got a couple other different song and album reviews that my man Ian did, and my man Skelly Tops did. So hit up HHDG Media. Look for more coming from us. More merch is on the way. Music is going to be on the way too. There's a little bit of a delay. We were supposed to be releasing a compilation album this year, but that we're still waiting on that. But in the meantime, we're also going to be supporting friends of ours who are putting out music, putting out albums. I got to give one more shout out to Porterhouse Productions. This woman Nicole's got a phenomenal lineup on this album that she's got coming out very soon. So you'll check for hhdgmedia.com. We'll have that up there. That'll give you a link to go to her place to purchase it. The Starting5podcast.com. You can find all our streaming links, the merch link. The Patreon link has been pulled down. I pulled it down because for some reason there was some kind of problem with having it up there on my Wix. I don't know what the fuck it was. I'll figure it out eventually. Yeah. But yeah, you could go there. You can find all the links to the podcasts. You can find all of our other streaming platforms on there. You can go buy the merch. Like I said, you could get phone cases up there that are dope like this, from the beginning of the iPhone all the way up to the 11 Pro Max. They got Android phones and stuff up there too. We got bottles, COVID masks if you want to protect yourself and represent the brand. Um, I felt like I had something else. Oh, also on there too, I got to shout out my Blurred Fleet family. There's a Blurred Fleet link on the page. Also, you can hit that up and check out any one of the accounts that are on the Blurred Fleet family. It's a dope collective of people of color who are creators, content creators via Instagram, podcasts, video shows, all that stuff, man. Just come through and support us. And then eventually I'm gonna make a page of the friends of mine who's been a part of the Blackfinity Gauntlet. Not everybody's gonna be up there because a lot of people fell off. A lot of people got real funny style in other ways, but that's just another story for another day. But I got to get people like my brother B Rob up on there too, just because I show love to everybody who's showed love back and continue this journey along within this content creating and podcasting world that we've been in. I've been in it for 6 years now, and though I've been ready to quit a couple times, there's no stopping because there's a bigger goal within all of this that is going to bring all of my friends along with me.
Yeah.
So stick around, stay tuned for that. And as always, Rob, we're going to do this a couple more times before the year's up.
Especially, man, if you could wave down that ice cream truck, man, give me a nutty buddy, bro.
I don't even know if they have them up, on this truck that comes around here. But you heard the slave cat. Is it that? What was it they said? The Watermelon Man song,
yeah,
whatever.
Watermelon Man.
It's all of a sudden this song is racist. Well, it's not all of a sudden. I'm sure it has
always been, but now we know.
But now we know. There it is. Mm-hmm. Now we know.
Yeah, I don't never hear none of that shit around here. We got an ice cream man that come around here and my job, and they don't even play none of that shit. They be playing some other stuff I ain't never heard of.
You be getting Paul Wall blasted through the speakers.
Shit, why you bullshitting? I'm surprised I haven't. I'm surprised I haven't.
Yeah, ice cream and grills all in the same truck.
Yeah, just come around in that goddamn ice cream truck. Slim Thug up.
The truck is sitting on what they call them swangers.
Swangers and shit. They got that
or whatever. I've been down with Houston hip hop for so long, man.
Dude, I just don't need. I didn't until I moved here. I did not know how much Houston hip hop influenced my childhood.
True indeed.
But man, it's been a pleasure. It's been a blast, and like you said, the door is always open for you to come back. You know that, and you probably kick that motherfucker in and come make you a bowl of cereal or some shit. So I don't even know why I'm trying to invite you. You're just gonna come back anyway. So, but with that being said, man, it's been a pleasure to have you, and man, we'll catch up again.
Peace, y'all. Peace.